Ascension energies are here. The new Ascension energy brings with it many new exciting opportunities for humanity. The energy of the Ascension is ushering the planet into a higher frequency and rapidly shifting the vibration of humanity into a higher, more expanded level of conscious awareness. Ascension means moving from a third-dimensional density consciousness to an expanded fifth-dimensional consciousness. In this new consciousness, one's spiritual awareness is also expanded, and the world will appear different in many ways. It can be likened to the process of moving from darkness to light. It is a powerful experience and can turn someone inside out and their life upside down. But this is a good thing, even if the actual experience of the ascension process can bring about some challenges along the way if one is not spiritually prepared. Many of us are using this newfound energy to begin living out our true soul purpose on the planet and really living life to its fullest. The new crystal and indigo children that are incarnating in greater numbers at this time are benefiting from this new energy in a profound way, and nurturing our indigo and crystal children with positive values can be a wonderful way to help shift the new generation of humanity to a higher vibration. Light workers from all over the world, along with the starseed individuals, all are doing their share to help the planet and humanity in many ways. You may most likely be familiar with several terms, such as light worker, higher self, and the concept of spiritual development itself. You may have been preparing for these times most of your life, but didn't even know it. You are getting closer to realizing your life purpose, and it is time to complete your mission on Earth. The reason why you came here to begin with. You may not be quite sure of where you are going or what you should do just yet, but you have been receiving strong signals for some time now, and your higher self has brought you to this point. Many people begin to experience the 1111 and other synchronicities around this time as a sort of wake-up call. Ascension is a twofold process. In order for a species to fully join the spiritual realms, ascension must happen both on an individual level and for the whole society in which it lives. The spiritual and evolutionary processes are permanently connected. You cannot climb the spiritual ladder until the physical body has been prepared to accept the increased bioelectrical impulses. The physical mutations happen over generations, as souls chose parents whose genetics would allow them to progress. As more souls become aware of the process, they become more discriminating of where they shall incarnate. This imbalance is causing many of the current social, economic, and cultural problems, which have created fear, hatred, and violence. You may have already formed a view of what ascension is or is not. Your heart will guide you and tell you if this is right for you or not. Ascension is the final step that will lead you out of a limited and third-dimensional consciousness into the world of 5D reality, which is a dimension of ascended consciousness where the so-called golden age awaits. Crossing this threshold does require a proverbial leap of faith that great prophets and spiritual writers have talked about for centuries. Once you commit yourself on the path of ascension, there is no turning back. As you begin to move forward into the ascension process, the dense world of 3D conflicts will hold less and less appeal for you. Lightworkers and those who are more developed in their psychic or empathic abilities are mostly excited about these new ascension energies, even though they can be challenging, because these energies are serving the purpose of uplifting humanity as a whole. As the ascension process unfolds, more intense energies are streaming onto the planet. It becomes more essential than ever to raise one's mental state of consciousness to a deeper and greater awareness. Now is the time to become more accustomed to sensing and reading the different types of energies around us. We do this. We get more in touch with our own inner energy, and we begin to truly understand what really drives our actions, both positive and negative, and the actions of others around us. This new ascension energy can sometimes be a bit challenging, especially for those who are still operating in ego consciousness, and so helping to spread the love and light of higher awareness to others can help the planet and all of humanity. There is a Lightworkers Code that states, One should do no harm to any other living being, including animals. One may shine the light wherever they go, making it easier for their fellow humans to live a life of true value and happiness. It is essential for us all to be more in control of the ego and negative emotions, such as anger, frustration, or worry. Souls have a tendency to choose regions, cultures, and parents who will allow the maximum amount of spiritual and personal lessons. The freer and more open the society, the more likely it will attract the advancing souls. In exchange, the society will benefit from the advancing soul's increased energy levels and its access to the universal wisdom, which brings about new medical, technological, and scientific discoveries. This self-sustaining process enables both the soul and the society, in which it's a member, to quickly grow towards ascension, very uncomfortable or painful way. Negative emotions are much easier to deal with and overcome when one is in touch with the presence of their own light within themselves. As we continue to work on our own spiritual self-development by raising our own vibration, we start to have more energy to use in the outside world, and as our awareness expands, we begin to take notice of all the beauty of nature in the world around us. During the ascension process, it's important to create balance within one's life. The key is to match the inner energy inside of us with the outer world. For some, it may feel like walking a tightrope. It can be challenging at times, but more and more of us are waking up and beginning to understand that the outside world is merely a reflection of the inner world that we all carry within ourselves. We must start to be the change that we wish to see manifested in the outside world. It does not matter what path you took that allowed you to arrive here at this point in time. You may have had a very difficult life experience up until this point. Life may have taken you up and down and to and from many different paths before bringing you to this place where your only choice is to ascend or not to ascend. You already know what your higher self and your heart have to say about the different dimensions of experience you have encountered thus far. Maybe it took you a long time to believe that your inner voice had your best interests in mind. Your lower self or ego would certainly have worked hard at dissuading you away from this expanded awareness. But it's time to put a lid on that ego voice, for it has nothing to offer you but more of the grief or fear that you have already been through. It's time to let go and move on to something bigger and better. Every ascension experience can be unique because it is such a personal experience, but the outcome will be the same for anyone who chooses to carry